Yeah, can you guys hear me? We'll do it here. Excellent. So I've been waiting for this, because this gives me a chance to tell and wish you all a very good evening instead of afternoon. So good evening. Good evening. Still not good yet. Good evening. Hey, guys, there are two halls here, Hall 1 and Hall 2. What happens in Hall 1? Nothing. Everything happens here, right? They're discussing business, and here we are discussing, we're going to discuss about technology which will enable that business to happen. We all agree on that? Without technology, no business, right? See, this is the noisiest group out here, so just discard them for a moment. I want it from you all. On for it? Wonderful. Okay, so let me throw around a few numbers. 13% sales from e-commerce, omni-channel, organizational maturity of 33%, and 47% of companies can talk about or boast about seamless customer journeys, and 19% have adopted chatbots. Now, these are numbers that have culled from the report that was released today morning by Anil, right? And I have a firm belief that 15 minutes from now, we'll all have an idea as to how do we bump these numbers up.
Just disrupt them.
Absolutely, disrupt them. So to help me do that, now the first disruption that we're doing is we're going to stand out here. Is it fine? Come on, guys. Hall 2. Are we good?
Let's cut the energy.
Perfect. Fantastic. So without much further ado, let me move on to Arzan for a brief intro about himself and the company that he represents.
Thanks, Siju. So my name is Arzan. I lead partnerships for WhatsApp at Meta. And what we do, okay, so WhatsApp for business is something which is relatively new, but picking up pretty fast over the last 2 years. And what we essentially want to do is get any business to be able to talk to a consumer, or a consumer to speak to any business anytime and anywhere at their pace. Now, if you just step back a little bit and look at the way our country has digitized over the last 2 decades, from 2000 to 2010, when online shopping and e-commerce became available, people were wary about going and getting digitized or doing digital transactions. No more than 20 or 30 million people in India actually went ahead and did a commercial transaction online. And then from 2010 onwards, when Android and iOS became a lot more prevalent, there was a flurry of apps. Every brand had an app which they expected the user to download, through which they could purchase or avail of a product or a service. Even with that, the biggest of brands, like an Amazon or a Flipkart, has not been able to reach more than 100 or 150 million consumers who've ever done a digital transaction in their life. Now, the number of people in India who are on WhatsApp is 620 million.
So I'll stop you there, Arzan, because that's a huge number to trip on right now, and it'll lead to a few more questions as we go along, right? Before that, let's get Vinay in for a very, very quick intro.
Hi, everyone. I'm the country manager for MessageBird here. We're 11 years young, but we're present in 55 countries. What do we do? In a very simple sense, make it easy for your customers to talk to you as businesses as if they were talking to friends. What does that mean? They are there across 15 different channels globally. Can they converse, communicate, shop, do customer service with you on their channel of choice, not your channel of choice? And obviously being WhatsApp's largest, I think now, or one of the largest partners globally, we're able to build hundreds of journeys in the channel, as example WhatsApp, to enable you as a business to let your customer engage with you.
So in other words, I don't know how many of you were there in the morning session, especially when Ms. Bector was delivering her lecture on DLF malls. How many of you were there? Show of hands. Okay, what she said and what really made me sit up and take notice was the fact that they are focused on delivering experiences where the consumer is. Right now, that's a powerful statement, right? And multiple brands have done this over the years, right? Technology companies have done this, large corporations across the world have done this. But then she very, very clearly laid out as to how do they do this. Now, Vinay, are you saying that MessageBird as an entity strives to help brands do exactly this?
Absolutely. So the journey can be pre-sales, sales, post-sales, customer service, but again, any channel. So it's almost like a plug and play. don't get prohibited. People get challenged with the how part of it. The what and why gets discussed a lot. We enable the how part of it.
And so when he talks about multiple channels, Arzan, where does WhatsApp fit in? I mean, I don't think there's any, is there anyone in this room who doesn't have WhatsApp? I take that as a no.
So customer engagement could be across every stage of the customer life cycle, right from creating awareness to driving consideration to purchase, to actually being able to do a commercial transaction, to even post-sales, after-sales support, customer service, and many brands even do it for building long-term loyalty for enhanced brand equity. So the key is generating awareness, and once a brand knows, I have a prospect who's looking at me, either through a website or any other surface, they can have organic entry points at each part of the customer journey to get the consumer engaged on WhatsApp.
Excellent. So how many of your brands out here? Okay. Do you use WhatsApp? At what stage, for what do you use WhatsApp?
Mostly for delivery and logistics part of it, yeah.
Okay. So one part of the customer journey
Customer
that you
service,
just mentioned.
customer service.
Yes? Who else is using WhatsApp in their business? Yes. You have to shout it out.
For convenience, I mean, there are a lot of people who would like to directly order on WhatsApp, so we use it for that. So yeah.
So you're saying ordering on WhatsApp?
Correct. Ordering, or if they want to know anything about the product, the prices, etc.
Okay. So that's a more enveloped customer journey that they're talking about.
Using
right?
it for engagement and using it as a sales channel.
Okay. Now, Vinay, how have you seen this whole concept of customer engagement and this particular aspect of delivering customer experience, change over the past 4 or 5 years?
Oh, that's a great one, because I actually shared that early this morning, and I'm going to repeat that. The customer, which is the C, traditionally we've only communicated with them. However, to a mature customer, a business, to an early stage, that journeys have changed from pure communication to conversations, to commerce, to customer support, to customer satisfaction. And that's the evolution. So wherever you're in the entire life cycle of a customer, all this now is done by messaging, and especially on a channel like WhatsApp. So I can give it 2 examples. A leading e-commerce in APAC has 100 journeys inside WhatsApp. An edtech company in India has 40 journeys inside WhatsApp. Now that doesn't mean what are those? It's not marketing. Typically we say just market. Yes, that's one. But commerce, fees, renewal, subscription, updates, delivery, shipment, reschedule. I mean, we can go on. So that's been the evolution, and we see more and more brands investing in richer customer experiences in the channel.
Can I just add to that?
Yeah, please.
So if you ask how it's evolved over the past few years, first, for sure, it's become omni-channel. So people have been used to SMS or email, which are traditional ways of communicating, which have abysmally low read rates. WhatsApp has over 90% read rates, which is why performance marketers and ad agencies who represent brands and budgets that the brands have are now consciously moving their digital ad spends to WhatsApp, because not only do they know that the customer can now, he's read my ad or he's seen my message, he also has the propensity to buy or do a commercial transaction from within the WhatsApp window. That is one. Secondly, I think what has changed is technology and marketing automation has driven a lot of change, where brands have the ability to sharpshoot. They know exactly who their prospective customer is and what target offer to hit to them to be able to convert. That has happened through marketing automation. So for example, if MessageBird is running a marketing automation platform, and a brand like, say, Flipkart is a prospect, if a user is going to that brand site and clicking on various products, or they will be able to capture all the clicks, the entire journey of browsing the web, and send it to them to know exactly how that consumer can potentially be targeted. So that has changed. And thirdly, as of now, we've got businesses going and reaching out to consumers. When you say we've got 600 million people who are on WhatsApp, businesses can't go and randomly start sending messages to anybody who's on WhatsApp, right? They'll get spammed and they'll get blocked. Now what we are doing is we are getting consumers to come to WhatsApp. So what we are recently announced, we announced something yesterday. We are giving the ability for every brand who's got a WhatsApp journey or a WhatsApp presence to be discoverable natively within WhatsApp. So let's say a Samsung refrigerator goes wrong in your house. If you want to raise a trouble ticket, all you have to do is search Samsung on your WhatsApp, type a hi. the chatbot starts talking to you without even having to remember the number or to save it.
Now, that sounds pretty good, but how many of you are really confused out here? Are you extremely clear in terms of the journey?
Yes, no? Yes? Few nods, few... Yeah?
So,
Can I give an example?
No, what I need you to do is, please respond to this accusation that conversational commerce is equal to chatbots. And number two, what are the different components of all that you're saying? Can you simplify it for us?
Yeah, so I'll give an actual, it's a great one, right? I think it gets very blurry and say chatbot, chatbot, chatbot. Well, I'll give an example of, without naming the customer, the largest laptop/appliance manufacturer, computer equipment manufacturer, starting last quarter, every product would have a QR code. Now, what does that do? What are my use cases? How do I register my laptop? How do I service my laptop? Where's the service center? How do I raise a complaint? How do I buy a new one? How do I buy a mouse? We all trust finding things. That's not a chatbot. That's an official entry point for the business, taking it down to that customer's house, desk, home. And now he's able to just simply scan that, opens into WhatsApp, gives him a menu of options. What would you want to do? Do you want to buy extended warranty? Or do you want to buy a laptop? Do you want, accessory? And that's the power of simplifying is, can you let your customer do what he wants to do with you across various touch points simply by just clicking? And chatbot is just a tool.
So what are the components, Vinay? If you could just spell out very clearly those 5 or 6 or 10 components that are there in this overall strategy, it'll kind of help the brands to evaluate where they are right now and then decide as to what are the missing ones that they'll have to put in to deliver all that we're talking about.
If I understand your question, right, components is one, as a brand, you're already on the surfaces, your customer's already there, so that's a tick. Second, you have the channel access. But I think the key is clarity of what you want to do in the channel, and secondly, a partner that can help you enable that. I think broadly, unless you're looking for something.
No, which is fine, but in terms of you need WhatsApp for business, you need a subscription for WhatsApp for business.
For sure.
You need a MessageBird subscription or so on and so forth.
Fair. That's the how part, right? For sure. You need channel access. Some channels are free. Most channels are free. It's the cost to communicate in a channel. You can get an SMS API, you can get a WhatsApp for free, but you need to, WhatsApp will charge you. Then you need a service provider like us who enables you to build these journeys, what we say Lego boxes, so you don't have to depend on engineering product. And we work with the team, gentlemen here and lady here. The biggest challenge is, how do I build these journeys? Well, you need a partner that lets you as knowledge workers, rather than technology, to be able to build hundreds of journeys. So you need a partner to enable that naturally.
So, so Kunal, just as an answer to your question, you need obviously the channel access, then you need someone to structure those journeys for you, and then enable it on the platform, right?
Absolutely.
Now, how daunting is this task? Will it take 2 months, 5 months, 6 months, 8 months?
We could do it in, depending on the channel, we could do it within minutes to hours. Just click, click, click.
Okay, now that's interesting because mostly, complexity and comprehensibility, kind of get interchanged at some level, right? And all things comprehensively do not be complicated. I think
Can I give an example to that? A leading e-commerce auto company, with the e-commerce presence, 6 engineers, 1 flow, 30 days, conventional method. With us, with the tooling, with Flow Builder, without any code, 15 minutes, their journey was live. So we were up for a challenge. If somebody comes across and says, hey, I have this journey, can you build it for me and make it live within 15 minutes? We're up for that challenge.
So 15 minutes and you should be up with MessageBird flying. That sounds cool, right? That sounds pretty okay. Now, things can't be so hunky-dory, so nice. What are the pitfalls? What should a brand be looking out for when they start off on this journey?
I know Arzan has one. I don't steal that answer from, especially on WhatsApp. That's a very clear answer. Go ahead, Arzan.
So, like Vinay mentioned earlier,
Arzan, a little closer.
Any brand needs to be very clear what they want to use the platform for. Now, you could use it in 2 or 3 areas. Some use it for multiple. One is whether they want to create awareness and use it as a channel for driving sales and marketing, simply because WhatsApp will intrinsically give you access to that additional 400-500 million people who have the ability to buy, who have the ability to converse with you over chat in a native language, but they've just never transacted with you digitally over an app or a website. So you have the power to get that access, which is what brands are now increasingly looking at. 2, you have the ability to do a commercial transaction, which is actually a conversational commerce. You're giving them the ability to actually make a purchase on the platform itself without having to download the app for whatever reason or go to the website. And thirdly, you're giving them an option to be able to not wait for minutes, trying to reach a help desk or a contact center. You can log a trouble ticket within 30 seconds through your WhatsApp chat if the brand has a customer service journey outlined on WhatsApp. So these are three very broad cases, within which any kind of customer journey can be programmed. And it depends on what the brand really wants. Some of them use it for all. Some of them use it only for notification. Some of them use it for conversational commerce. And some of the newer brands are using it to keep their customers a lot more engaged. For example, they do a few things to drive awareness. They'll do a few, like give you promotions or offers. They'll do a few things to drive consideration, like special offers, or they'll tell you where's the nearest physical store if they want to go and check the product, or show you a more visually appealing image of the product. If they want to drive, say, post-sales, they'll help you with things like logistics, order details.
Sure.
Keep the journey more engaged so that they build long-term loyalty of a prospect customer.
Right from product to visibility, right down to the final end of the customer journey chain.
I want to add to that. I think the biggest pitfall that one should is respect the channel and your customer. We've seen businesses abuse the channel as if, wow, I have 10 million customers whose mobile numbers now I can reach out to on WhatsApp, and spam hits. I think I was talking to some folks over lunch or before. They've started blocking 6 businesses on the channel. So why we have to be collectively responsible. And if you abuse the channel, which is in turn abusing your customer, you're going to get blocked. So that's the biggest pitfall I would say. Respect the customer and the channel. It's not a free access to him. And I think that's the key.
I think that's perfect. I mean, I think we need to give him a big round of applause for what he just said. Respect the channel, respect the customer, because end of the day, the customer pays is responsible for the revenues. Now, this is fantastic. So it was a very short 20 minutes wherein, we had requests of giving back 5 minutes to the session for the Q&A. So a very quick Q&A. I can take 2 questions. Otherwise, Anish is going to kick us out physically. Absolutely. Yes, anyone? Yeah. Okay, so if there are no questions, then let me conclude. If you've heard Arvind today speak, if you heard Shailesh in the morning speak, you'll realize why everyone is so bullish about retail in India, right? Per capita going up from 1,800 to a possible 3,000 by 2032. Huge amount of product discovery happening out there. 600, 700, 800. I don't know what that number is going to be in a year's time for you, Arzan, from a WhatsApp access perspective. I think we are in for very good times. Keep conversational commerce as a very core part of your customer engagement strategy. Go about in a manner that he just mentioned. And I guess when we meet back next year, we'll probably have some fantastic numbers to talk about. So thank you so much, folks, for sitting through this. Thank you, gentlemen. Absolute pleasure.
Thank you, gentlemen.